Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, Lisa. How are you?
Do I look bright and chipper? Because I'm
You
not
do,
feeling all.
actually. You always look bright and chipper.
Like I always say, the filter and the bright light coming in really, really helps. But
Uh,
I'm waking up. It's okay. I got my green smoothie to get me going, and
yeah. Yeah, I've had my
ugh.
coffee and I've moved on to my tea.
I'm
So,
very much looking forward to my coffee. So as soon as we're done here, then I'm gonna have my coffee. But
yes. Yeah, we don't normally record quite this early in the morning.
no, we don't.
This
No.
is a new thing, unless we've got usually
Oh,
the early mornings are when we have
someone
guests that
overseas.
international. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice that it works out pretty well when we have like the people over in the eastern, more eastern side of Canada, and then we can just kind of do it at a time that works for them that's sort of still midday for us. But
Yeah, exactly. It works out quite well. But
yeah, for the most part. But
yeah.
that's all
Yeah.
good. We make it work whenever we can. So,
We certainly do. So,
my husband bought something for us.
oh, for us.
Yeah, one
Oh,
for me and
nice.
one for you.
Oh,
You want to see?
how sweet is that? How thoughtful. Oh,
A macaron cushion.
oh, that's awesome. I love it.
So I
Where did
have
he
mine.
find such a thing?
I don't know, some thrift store. So I have mine on the bed here, and
That's
then next
awesome.
time I see you, you get yours. So
My collectibles of macarons.
as soon as he
Mac-
saw it, he was like, "I just had to get it for you guys." So
Oh, well, that's
yeah.
that's fitting since both of us are baking macarons this
Macarons today.
week.
Yes, it's funny actually. And that's great that we're doing macarons because we're going to be doing our scrapbook of the week, which
Yes,
is Fred Chibby Levin's Mastering Macarons. I'm very excited about that.
same
Um,
here.
yeah, but you're already the queen of macarons.
Well, it's always nice. I make the Italians method
Hmm.
macarons.
Hmm.
Generally, that's sort of what I've been making over the last little while.
Yeah.
However, when I first started making macarons, I did use the French method,
Hmm.
which is what Fred does
Yes.
for his book, which is great. So it's really awesome to just keep, you know,
Up
just
to
that
date.
technique. Yeah,
Yeah.
keep up
Practice
with
the techniques.
exactly. Practice a technique of how to make them in different ways. So yeah, and now that I was working with that young lady as well for her capstone project, it's been
Yes.
really great to kind of really fine tune and rework different recipes
Yes.
to make them work with the humidity here. And of course, as we're heading into the summer now,
Impressive.
hopefully one day soon we'll
We
head
will
into
get we'll
summer.
get some summer.
Hopefully, but the humidity's starting to kick up, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of nice to be able to kind of rework some different things and the egg white powder, what a game changer that
Is
has
it a game
been.
changer? I tried it the last time I tried making macarons, and I didn't have a huge success with the macarons in general. I don't think it had anything to do with the macaron or the egg white powder, just my technique. I'm just learning. So
Yeah.
we'll see how these ones turn out, but
Yeah, and like a lot of French technique, or French process, French recipes, it's a lot about that feel and that
mhm.
look
Yeah,
and just, and the more and it's like anything that you do, right? The more you practice it, the more you try it and then you
get
tweak.
familiar.
Yeah, exactly. And again, your oven's going to make a big difference. The humidity's going to make a big difference.
Yeah.
Whether you're wearing white or black will make a big difference. It just
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm excited to try.
fingers
Yep.
crossed. You've got this.
Fingers
You've
crossed.
got this. I have
Right?
full faith in you that you're going to nail this one.
Oh, you have a little too much faith in me, I
Nope,
think, my friend.
I don't. I don't. I know you can do it.
Well, I'm excited about this conversation that we had. Not to change the subject, but I don't know if I'm going to do well with it or not. But I know that we had a really good conversation with Pamela.
Oh, I'm so glad we were able to get her back to
Yeah,
have a one-on-one conversation or two-on-one conversation with her.
there's two
Of
of us.
course, the last time we spoke with Pamela, it was right after the finale of season 8 Great Canadian Baking Show aired, and we found out she didn't win, unfortunately. But Alora won the championship this last season. But it's so nice to have her one-on-one and kind of catch up with her I could speak, I could chat with her for days. She's
Yeah.
just such a lovely human being,
Yes.
so wonderful, so warm, so gracious, and so inspiring.
Yeah, inspiring and fun. I really enjoyed speaking with her also. That was, excuse me.
Ooh,
Well, speaking in general is difficult sometimes, apparently. Yeah.
especially first thing in the morning
Yeah,
or
wow, that
coffee.
was odd, but I really enjoyed speaking with Pamela and going over our conversation again is going to be so much fun. So,
Yeah.
looking forward to that. Yeah.
Yes.
All
So
right.
without any further ado, let's welcome Pamela.
Welcome, Pamela Kramer, to the Baking Scraps. Hi.
Welcome back. We're so thrilled to have you back.
Me too. It's so nice to see you both.
Good to see you
Oh,
too. I know that's a nice thing about social media and
Mhm.
being able to do this is again make those connections and then feel like we're kind of in the same room having coffee, but not
Yeah,
really, but kind of, right? So I think that's a really cool thing about being able to do this. So
yeah. We're all under the same moon.
yeah,
yeah, exactly. It
right.
was really cool. Yesterday, I was listening to Steve's most recent guest appearance with us, and just driving in my car and listening, and I'm like, it literally sounds like we're all just sitting in a room together having a conversation.
It does, actually.
And
Yeah.
that was the best thing about it. It's like, oh, you really feel like you're close to the person that you're chatting with. And
Mhm. Yeah.
so, yeah.
And we
Thank
feel
goodness
it
for
with you,
technology.
What was that?
Thank goodness for technology.
right?
No
Mhm.
kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it feels like with you, we've kind of done something similar, right? With the three finalists that we had on the show originally. But it
Yeah.
feels like we already know so much about you and love you, of course. And we're so thrilled again to have you back for another little coffee chat or tea,
Oh, me too.
Or
whatever your
water.
preference.
Or
Oh,
what?
kosher.
Water.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm
you
doing
have the same bottle that I do, but I left mine in the
Yeah.
car.
I have to try to drink like 3 of these a day, and on a good day, I might get through half of one. So
Right. I know. It's like if you don't have it right there, you
yeah.
forget. So I'm like, I know I'm going to get through this very quickly, and then I'll be sitting there going, I have no more water. There's an empty glass taunting me there, but
Reminding you.
Yeah,
reminding me that I'm supposed to be drinking more water. But
I know.
maybe I'll
Oh,
ask my slave, my husband, to come in again. Okay.
and there he is on cue. That's
He's
fantastic.
standing in the doorway. Can I have some more water,
She
please?
needs more water.
I'm going to be talking for a while. I need some more water.
Chris, she needs more water.
There's a hose outside.
Did you hear that? There's a hose outside. I don't know how much this microphone blocks out from the back. I have it set to block out background noise because of the dogs barking.
Right, right.
And so I was like, oh, I really hope they heard that because I thought that's classic Chris.
Yeah, too
Classic.
funny. Too
Yeah.
funny. But going back to the water, I mean, there's so many things that we're all supposed to be like doing now, right?
Mhm.
Like drinking all the water and eating all the protein and having all the
Doing all the
calcium and
movement.
doing all the strength training and lifting weights and creatine and electrolytes. And I'm like, all the supplements. I'm like, where does it
Yeah,
all stop?
I
Yeah.
know. And keeping track of all of it. And yeah, every day I'm like, did I eat enough protein? Did I drink enough water?
Right?
Get in the habit of it now before all of a sudden you're in perimenopause and going, oh no, I didn't practice all those habits. And because now I'm
Mhm.
trying to incorporate all of them and I'm just like, man, it's too many things.
It is.
True. It's
Yeah.
true. It's a lot.
There's
Hmm.
a lot. So start now, start early, do it all now.
I
So
have been for some time, but
nice.
it's hard when you keep adding to the list. I'm like, now I've added a supplement routine
Yes, of course.
and I've
Um,
added like a vigorous workout routine. And I'm like, okay, how is there enough time in the day for all of the things?
I'm proud of you for taking care of yourself. My husband just brought this in. KitchenAid stand mixer bowl full of water.
What a guy. What a guy. Yeah, I guess you could just like dip your glass in and drink.
I mean, now it's available to me, so we'll
Yes.
see how that
What a
goes.
good sense of humor. He brought you a well.
Yes, he did, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as he didn't take something out of the mixing bowl in order to put the
Right.
water in there, then he's doing all right. So,
Yeah.
He wasn't gone that long, so
mm,
I'm saying it's probably safe that he didn't take anything out.
yeah, because he would have had to clean it.
Exactly.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, Pamela, tell us what you've been up to these days.
I mean, not much has
Taking
changed.
supplements.
I'm
Yeah,
taking
taking
supplements.
supplements.
I have since filming, I have spent a lot more time just like enjoying my life outside of baking, to be honest.
Good.
I've continued baking, but I have started practicing yoga a lot more. I joined a yoga studio. I've been going every day. I had a goal of 100 classes in 100 days, and I exceeded that. So I'm
Nice.
about that. Yes.
Congrats.
Very pleased. Thank you. I've made a whole little network of friends there. And so I've been exploring like gluten-free and dairy-free and like egg-free baking. So that's new for me. So it's been nice to have people to kind of like taste test for me that can give an experienced opinion because I have an inexperienced opinion when it comes
Right.
to baking with alternative
Mhm.
ingredients.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the thing I've been exploring in the last little while. I'm still teaching. I still teach co-op. And yeah, I've just kind of been trying to focus more on my health and having a more balanced lifestyle, not like overworking, and fitting time in with like loved ones and
Yeah.
kimchi, of course. And yeah,
Of
so
course.
life has been very good. It's been just like a more enjoyable, relaxed pace since, the last time that we spoke. And I'm
Yeah.
just really glad that I feel like the snow is finally gone for good. So I don't want to jinx
Yeah.
Hopefully, you can always hope. You can always hope.
it. Yeah.
Well, that sounds so wonderful. And I know the last time we did speak, it was, the last week after the last the
Episode.
finale show aired. I can't
Yeah.
speak. Sorry. Um,
Menopause again.
and so I can imagine that was like a real whirlwind from about this time last year when you probably found out you made it on to Great Canadian Baking Show season 8, and then all of that prep, all of that work, and then being on, recording the show and all the episodes and baking your buns off.
Yeah.
And then you had a little bit of a reprieve there for a bit until the episodes started airing again. So now we're a few months down the road, and it's kind of nice to hear that you've got a bit more balance and you're enjoying life, and it sounds like you're living your best life right now, which is fantastic.
Yes, it's funny. It's like I always kind of thought, especially as women, we're so socialized to believe that like your 20s are when you're in your prime. And I'm like, no, actually, I feel like I'm in my prime now,
Yes.
decade later.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Yeah.
So good.
And you know what? I think you hit different primes at
Yeah.
different stages in life, to be honest with you. I think it's just different. Like your prime in your 30s is going to be different from your prime in your 40s. But I think there's just always something at any stage that
Yes.
is just so special and amazing, and you just own it that much more. And once you hit 50, you really don't care anymore.
But it's
So
like,
anything goes.
it's not even like a real thing. It's a social construct, I feel. Like
Right?
at age you can be in your prime. It just depends on how you choose to spend your time, obviously within the capacity that you have.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy with the stage of life that I'm in now and what I'm doing with my time. And I feel like this is kind of the first time in my life where I've actually invested time in myself and less in like everything else that's happening around me. So I've been kind of baking a little bit less, but
Mhm.
like investing a little bit more in my personal well-being.
Yeah. No, which is great. It's
Amazing.
hard sometimes to find that balance,
Yeah.
and so the whole reason that you bake, is it because you enjoy the creativity of it, or is it because you feel like you need to feed people, or that's your love language? Like what, because you're
Yeah.
saying you're taking more time for yourself and your own personal, not aesthetic, but being able to take care of your body, this
Yeah.
body that you're living in.
Yeah.
But the mental health portion of that, what part of your mental healthiness healthiness comes from baking and what comes from other things?
Well, I feel like with anything in life, if you take it too far to an extreme, even the healthiest thing can become unhealthy. And
Yes.
so for me, like baking is very much a love language. It's the way that I express, my love and care and gratitude for those around me. And I think that the greatest gift that you can give somebody is your time.
Mhm.
And it's a non-renewable resource. You can never get that back. And so the time that I invest into making something with care and love for somebody means a lot. And so I have spent a lot of my personal time in doing that. But, because it's not a renewable resource, it's a finite resource. Any time that you spend on one thing can be time taken away from something else. And so
Yeah.
what I found was that I had gone so far beyond a balance that I was spending a disproportionate amount of time kind of giving to others. And it was taking time away and depleting from myself. And so I had to really find a way to rein that in. And that was like,
Hard.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
hard to do. But to kind of reframe my thinking in that, like, I don't need to constantly be doing things for people to show them that I care about them. They already know.
That's
Yeah.
fair. Now, was there a catalyst that led you to that point?
That was my question.
No.
Well, this is like, a little tricky of a topic for me, but right towards the end of the show airing, I ended my relationship. I was in a relationship for like a long-term relationship, and I was with him through the filming.
Right.
And just before the airing of the finale, I decided to end that relationship just for personal reasons of like not feeling like I was getting what I was giving
Mhm.
in that relationship. And so that was sort of the catalyst where I was like, okay, I need to, for the first time in my life, really just like pour into myself
Yeah.
and stop expecting that everything that I pour into others is going to come back.
Mhm.
Because it doesn't always, right?
Mhm.
And it's
Right.
not like it was a beautiful, healthy relationship overall. But I just sometimes something can be beautiful and good, but still not right for the long term or enough for what I needed in the moment.
Mhm.
So,
That's fair.
yeah, so
Especially if you're pouring so much of yourself into it that you're losing yourself in the mix.
and that's exactly what happened. And
Mm.
so, I was like, well, how much more am I willing to sacrifice? And, I got to a point where I was just like, I don't really have anything left to give. And I feel depleted. And so I need to, do what's best for me and actually, think about, well, what about my own personal happiness and my own fulfillment and my own health?
Mhm.
And so I started to redirect that attention and energy and poured that back into myself with the full recognition that if I do that, then I can show up better for others in the long term as well.
Good for you.
Yeah, that is
Thanks.
incredible to be able to just pull that from, because that's hard. It's hard to
Mhm.
do. And make that decision and make that, the change that mindset, like you said, to really focus on you and come to that realization that this is what needs to happen. So
Mhm.
I so applaud you and it's
Thank you.
inspiring to hear that. And I'm so happy for you that you're in a good place right now and seem to be living your best life.
Thank you so much. And I'm still baking, but
Good.
Good.
just like in a more balanced, fulfilling way, and in a more like, I guess, a less overextending way, if
Yeah.
that makes
More
Mhm.
on your terms than
yeah,
somebody
yeah,
Yeah.
else's. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It does not surprise me that you throw yourself into things wholeheartedly, right?
Mhm.
You just seem to be someone who works very hard at investing yourself in things. And I'm really glad to hear that you're investing in yourself,
Mhm.
you
Thank
know?
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something that I noticed is that, like, why have I always taken a back seat in my own life?
Mm.
Mhm.
Like, how come I've shown up with my 150% to everyone else, but I never actually showed up that way for myself? So,
Right.
yeah. And I think
That's
it was just the way that I was raised and like the society that I was raised in and the messaging. you know, that as women we received, especially like growing up as a millennial, thinking that doing things for yourself is selfish.
Right.
You always had to be like giving and nurturing to others.
Mhm.
So I've had to reframe my thinking to include myself within that group of people that are deserving.
Yeah, it's that whole
Absolutely.
idea of, put your own life jacket on before you, or your oxygen mask. That's what it is. Put your oxygen mask on before you attend to anybody else,
Yeah,
right?
you pour from an empty cup. Right.
Right.
So yeah.
So many platitudes that are really
Yeah.
true.
And my baking tastes better because
There
Nice.
you go.
it's not, you know,
Hmm.
it's not done at like 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm running on empty and
That's
making
fair.
mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's probably very good that you got on the show last year
yes.
and not now, because you would have had to kind of push yourself to do all that stuff when you need to be focusing on you right now. So that's
Well,
good.
it's funny because like the show was, I was actually like talking to a friend a couple of days ago and we were asking each other these like deep questions. And one of the questions was like, what was one of the like monumental moments in your life that caused a shift for you?
Yeah.
And for me, it really was being on the show and getting to the finale because it was one of the only things I've ever done in my life that was really for me. And
Right.
it was one of the only times where I felt like, oh my God, I can take up space. You know, I don't have to
So
shrink
awesome.
Amazing.
myself to like fit into someone else's idea of like where they want me. Instead of it was like, well, actually, this I can take this moment and
Hmm.
I can take up space and I earned it and I fought my way here, you
Yeah.
know. And yeah, so
Yeah.
that
Did a
was a
beautiful job.
big shift for me. Mhm.
So do you think that had it not been for you making it on season 8, that you would have been in the same place that you are now today? Do you think you would have been there, or do you think you would have been in that same cycle of what you were doing before?
I think I would have arrived eventually, like on the same. I was walking the same path, but
Hmm.
that was definitely a catalyst for me, and it was definitely a moment of realization where I was like, oh, this is what it feels like to take up space, and it's
I
okay.
like it.
And
And
it's good.
yeah, and I did good.
You
You
did.
did
Yeah,
amazing.
thank you,
Amazing.
thank
Hmm.
you.
Yeah, people cannot stop talking about that cake that you made.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
All of the cakes
seriously.
that you made.
Well, all of the cakes that you made, but the one particular one that I was so grateful that you gave me
Yes.
like scaled down version of it so that I could try it, because oh my goodness,
So good.
I'm so glad.
beautiful and delicious.
Mhm.
I poured all of my love into that. So
Oh, you can
I
so
could feel
tell, and
it. Yeah.
thank
it's
you.
on repeat in my place. It really
You're
is. It's such a, yeah, and I've turned it into like everything. I done it in macarons.
love it. God. And I was like, oh
Everything,
my God, this is genius.
all of the things wherever I can
Make
do.
it as like an eclair. I feel like that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, shoe. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That would be
Yes.
amazing. Yes,
It'd
that's
be
my
really good.
next challenge accepted, Pamela. Thank
Yeah,
you.
right? Yeah.
That's so awesome. So tell me what it felt like then, as somebody who, from based on what you're saying, you felt as though your role in life was not really to be, proud and out and like, well, that,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Like in
Yeah,
people's faces and taking up that space.
right.
Watching yourself on the show, how did that feel? Was it strange to see yourself on TV? Like, what were your emotions?
Initially,
Yeah,
initially, yes. I felt like, oh, this is so cringe. Like, I feel so weird watching myself. Like, this is very strange.
yeah,
But I was very pleased with how myself I was.
Mm.
good.
That there was no point where I changed who I was or the way that I showed up or how I represented myself. I think I was very authentic in how I participated in the show, and watching that back, I felt unexpectedly really proud And I didn't
Good.
think that I was going to feel that way. And I think a
Mhm.
lot of us struggle with like feeling proud of ourselves.
Yeah.
Um, but I actually really did feel proud. And I felt like, wow, I can't believe I did that. Like, especially that first showstopper. I remember how incredibly insane of a first episode that was. There were 10 of us. We were all out of our element. None of us had done this before. We're all, painfully aware that someone is going home and, we're all having to adapt. And it was
Yeah.
extremely hot. The first challenge, I, I struggled. I was like piping on my finishes in the fridge. The second, the shmoo, my goodness, I was like, I think I came in 7th out of 10. And so I was feeling pretty dejected and thinking like, okay, I could be going home. And
Yeah.
I had to really like pull strength from within
Mhm.
and believe in myself and say, nope, I'm not going home and I'm going to deliver the best damn cake that I can. And I
And
did. I
holy man,
and
You did.
like watching
that's,
back, I was like, wow, like I can't believe I actually did that. Like that's
Yeah.
insane.
and
Yeah.
it was, and it was spectacular. Like I fell in love with you that first episode. I
Mhm.
really, really did.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, from the first episode that we did, our recap episodes, I'm like, Pamela, she's my girl. I love
Yeah,
her.
she did.
I
Yeah.
remember hearing that and my heart just exploded.
But seriously, you blew my mind with your split cake.
Mhm.
That was so clever on all
Yeah.
the levels. I mean, the interpretation of the brief, with doing the banana split cake,
Banana split.
the execution was like flawless. I mean, it was really pure perfection. And then from that, like really that moment, I mean, I think you were also like, for me, like I just loved your energy.
Mhm.
Even
Thank
from,
you.
when we first saw it, actually, even before when the cast was originally introduced and I started stalking everybody on Instagram,
And because we
I
got
could
all
tell.
those the little extra bios that were
right?
coming out, which was
Yeah,
really nice. Yeah.
absolutely. Like we just felt like we kind of already knew you, and then you blew my mind that first day, and I was like hooked ever since. And so I was like one of your biggest cheerleaders all the way through, right through the end of that show, and still am. I'm a big fan of yours.
So much. I really appreciate it. And I was really moved by how much you guys believed in me, like listening to the recaps every week. Like as soon as the recaps would come out, I would listen to it on my drive every time on my drive to work. I'm like, okay, it's perfect timing. Like the episode was exactly the same length as my drive to and then from work. So I would listen
Wow,
to it.
perfect.
Yeah, and I looked forward to it every week and I always was so like appreciative. I felt so deeply appreciative of all of the kind things that you had to say and I thought, wow, like because we're not in real life, we're not privy to the thoughts of others. Like what other people think of us really is none of our business. And so to hear, those thoughts out loud, and it almost felt like I was a fly on the wall in those conversations. And I just felt like just so appreciative of how kind and sweet and yeah, just how much you believed that I was going to, keep going because I didn't really believe in myself all that much when I was in the
Right.
experience. Like day to day, I was like, okay, I could be next. I could be next. Like, there was no day where I felt safe
Mm.
at all. And so getting to the finale, I was like, what? I don't know about that.
But
Meanwhile, Christina's like, I knew it.
got
I knew it
this.
all
I
along.
knew. I knew.
We believed in you for
We did.
sure. And
Yeah.
that's really great feedback for us to hear that
Mhm.
too. And it really did, because we don't know what we're going to say, when we sit down to do these recaps, and to
Right.
have Stephen and Vincent there with us to be able to do the recaps is really just like chatting with friends, and things come
Yeah.
up as you're talking. We've written down what everybody baked for each episode, and what they came in on the technicals, etc. But
Yeah.
we don't know what we're going to say, so there, and we don't censor ourselves. So it's our real thoughts that are coming out. So you really were like a fly on
Yeah.
the wall.
Yeah. And of
Yeah.
course, the other part of it is we only see what editing puts out for the show as well. So we don't know any of the background stuff or what had happened. And you know, anything along the way too. So we're just, you know, it's great to have Stephen and Vincent as part of it because they have that behind the scenes, you know, experience
Knowledge.
and
Yeah.
not,
They
yeah,
have
the
that
knowledge.
insight
They can
for sure.
exactly
They
the
have that
insight. Thank
insight.
you. That was the word I was
That's the
looking for.
word.
Again, you know, Menno brain. It's fantastic. Just saying.
You're hilarious. So it sounds like they're going to be joining us for
Mhm.
the recaps next
Season
season
nine.
as well. So that will be really fun. I'm excited about that. And excited that we get to watch another season. But I can't believe we're
Yeah,
already at that time of year where they're about to start filming, you know, next month.
I know.
And
I know. And I actually I was thinking about that over the Easter weekend because when I found out it was the Thursday before the Easter weekend
Mhm.
last year. And so this is crazy, but I found out on the Thursday at like 4 p.m.
Mhm.
and they wanted the contract signed and returned by Tuesday. And it was a 4-day weekend. So I'm like,
Oh,
I don't know how my board is going to approve this.
right, right.
Right.
Signed it and hope for the best. And then it took my board, I think, almost 3 weeks to get back to me with the approval. But it was a
Oh,
gamble. And I that was the first, like, besides the application, that was
mhm.
the first real leap of faith I had to take in myself to be like, you know what? No, this is my dream. This, like, I'm gonna sign it and I'm gonna figure it out one
Yeah.
way or another. It's gonna happen. And yeah, so I was thinking about those 10 people, you know, over the weekend and like this potentially life-altering news, right?
Yeah.
And I thought back also to when I was packing up my hotel room at the end and I put a little sticky note on like underneath the tilt head of the stand mixer and I just put like a little encouraging like you got this, Pam.
Oh,
So whoever
I
gets
love
that mixer,
Oh, I love that. Oh, I really
all the
hope
good.
that they come on the podcast and tell us about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because how I mean, I'm sure when you got there, I mean, you're you're frazzled. You're probably going, oh my goodness, what have I gotten myself into? There's so much going on, so much happening.
Yeah.
You probably, you know, just met or about to meet 9 other incredibly talented people from across the country. You're
Mhm.
probably feeling a little, you know, maybe a little fish out of water kind of
For sure. Oh,
feeling.
for yeah.
Imposter syndrome to some extent as
Oh,
well.
the whole way through. The
And
whole way through.
I believe that. I believe
yeah,
that.
totally. And then to actually find that, like a note like that from you, I think would mean so much.
I
And
wish it was
probably,
me. I wish that I could go into that hotel room and lift up the stand mixer and find
yeah,
a note from Pamela. But I'm so excited that somebody will.
somebody will, somebody else will. And I hope they've left it there because I would
Yeah.
imagine they probably, you know, the
Mhm.
people who
Well,
are
that's why I did it. I put it underneath
so
the
there's
tilt
no
head.
way that they wouldn't be able
Yeah,
to.
exactly.
Okay. Well, we are looking forward to speaking to the lucky baker who has that, and hopefully you're
Hmm.
giving them some good juju
Oh yeah.
energy. And
That's the goal. That is
yeah,
always the goal. Yeah.
Right.
that's so kind.
Mhm.
I mean, that's why we love you. Just your kindness and yeah, I mean, it's those little things, right? That makes
Mhm.
such a big difference for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it's kindness is free. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it doesn't cost you
Right?
anything to be kind to somebody, but it can make such a big difference. Like you never know what people are going through.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And so when someone takes even just like a few seconds to say or do something nice for someone, it can really make a huge difference, even if
Yeah.
you don't know about it. And but that's besides
Mhm.
the point, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
that goes a
Probably
long
some of
way.
the best things that we've done in this life we'll never actually know that
Hmm.
we've done them or the impact that we've had on people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like
And just
there's
because you don't know it doesn't mean that you didn't have that impact, right?
That's right.
Hmm.
And I mean, think about all the people that have watched you on TV that you have not met and will never meet, that you've
Yeah.
made an impact on,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that you may have inspired or encouraged or, just help them to see that maybe I can try to make this dream of mine come true because you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like don't give up, right? I didn't Jen didn't, you know,
Yeah.
8
Jen
seasons.
didn't. Yeah.
And like I thought I was in it for the long haul, like having applied for the first time in 2019 and then making it on 5 years later. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Um,
So
what made it your dream? I'm taking water from my big stand mixer bowl here. What how did it become your dream in the first place to get on this show?
Um, I think it just really was that kind of one thing where I wanted to prove to myself that I had what it takes, you
Right.
know, that I'm strong enough mentally and resilient enough. And like growing up, I don't know if I had mentioned this. I think I mentioned it in like a newspaper interview or something, but I don't know if I said it on the podcast before, but like growing up, I came from like a, you know, first generation Canadian family. Like my parents immigrated to Canada in the late 80s. They came to Canada with $700 in their pocket. And to this day, we still have no other family here. So,
Yeah.
had to really, really fight for everything that we have built. And I fought really hard to, you know, put myself through university, to put myself through grad school. And I've been working since I was 15. And I never, you know, we didn't have the money to explore hobbies or sports or anything like that. And so as a child, I always kind of longed to find where I fit.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to belong, right? We
mhm.
all look for our community. And I felt like I didn't really have one. And I wasn't the athlete. I wasn't the student council rep. I wasn't the cheerleader or the dancer or the swimmer or the track star or, you know, I wasn't any of those things. And I always kind of thought there was this personal identity piece that was missing of like, well, like, what am I good at? What do I have to offer the world? Like, what are my skills and talents that I can share with people to show them that I love them? And it took like I'm divorced, so it actually took going through a divorce and you know finally starting my career and finally having like paid off my student debt to finally feel okay, this is the time where I should be investing in what that missing piece is. And so I tried adult ballet, sucked at it. I tried, you know, taking up piano, sucked at it. Can't sing if my life depended on it. Like, I tried to write, um, was uninspired most of the time. So eventually I kind of was like walking down the street in Toronto and I saw this sweet, cute little bakery, La Dolce, and they were offering like, oh, this cake class, and it was like this very easy, like you could not fail at it. They had the cake baked, they had the frosting made, they had the decoration set up, you just had to put it together. And it was the first moment where I actually felt like, oh, I'm actually good at this. And it was so scaffolded, like it was so set up for you to succeed, but I actually, you know, felt like my curiosity sparked and I thought I would like to know how to do all of it. I want to know how to make the cake. I want to know how to make the frosting. I want to know how to make the decorations. I want to take this as far as I can go. I want to know even more than just cakes. I want to know how to make scones and I want to know how to make pastry and bread and eclairs and macarons and so it just created this like explosion in my mind like ratatouille, you know, with a little like yeah. And so and I started to really like rebuild my sense of self and self-worth after coming out of like a really bad marital experience. Um and I just took it and ran with it. And the second year that I'd started baking, like 1 year later, was when I thought I'm going to apply for this show. Or maybe 2 years, I think 2 years into my
Yeah.
baking. I thought I'm going to apply and I want to really test myself and push myself and keep growing and keep learning. And like, I was so inspired by the people that were on the show and the fact that none of them were professionals and
Mhm.
all of them came from such varied walks of life. And the
Mhm.
one thing that united them all was this mutual shared love of baking and this sense of community,
Mhm.
which I'd
Mhm.
always longed for.
Yeah.
And I thought I would belong. I would love to find my people and to
Yeah.
like be a part of that community. And that was really the main thing for me, was that aspect of community, but
Mhm.
also of like the personal challenge of
Yeah.
proving to myself that I did have the strength and the resilience and like the creativity, and I had everything within me. I had all the ingredients already to
Yeah.
make it, on and as far as I could.
Yeah.
You found your people.
Yeah, I did. I did. Yeah, I really did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is so, I mean, how can you not be inspired by that story? And, the fight that's in you to succeed. And I'm so happy that I can probably speak for a lot of us in this baking community, that we're so happy that you did find that passion and that you took every single opportunity and made it everything that you wanted it to be. So I think
Thank
that's,
you.
yeah,
I
incredible.
I'm
Love it.
really, really happy with my overall experience, and I'm really happy with the way that I was represented.
Good.
Yeah, and you should be. And you should
Yeah.
be. You mentioned it before about being proud. Absolutely. You should be beaming with pride, because wow, it was just a stunning journey, and it's continuing just in a
Thank
different way, right? But
Yeah,
and yeah,
yeah, absolutely. And I have dreams.
beautiful.
Like, I feel like there's so much that I want to continue to do with the
Let's hear
baking.
it.
Yes.
Like,
Tell us.
I would love to, like, I have like a 70-page Google Doc of all the recipes that I've been building since, I started baking back in like 2017.
Yeah.
And so I would love to one day like be able to like create a book
Yeah.
of like all of my very best recipes. I would love to be able to do that. So
That would be wonderful.
yeah, that's the
And,
thing that I'm working on.
and we know somebody who would probably be first in line to buy said book.
Who, you? Oh,
Well, I would probably be number two behind her bestie, Patty, with the 500 cookbook collection that she has.
Yes, I love that woman.
Oh, I
You
mean,
can tell. I mean, and how can you not? How can you
Yeah,
not?
I
you talk
know.
about finding your people. Like you two found each other and
Oh, I
just
know. We're
stuck.
we're like two peas in a pod now.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Perhaps an unexpected friendship. I don't know. From the
Yeah.
outside, maybe it would look like that we wouldn't
Yeah.
expect that you two would get as close as you did.
I know, because we like, when you look at us on screen, we're like on opposite ends of the spectrum. you know
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like I'm a teacher, I'm very cautious with my vocabulary. Like Patty's like a sailor.
What are you saying about Patty? What exactly are you saying about Patty?
He literally said she's a sailor.
Got the mouth of a trucker. That girl.
Patty
Oh,
helped us loosen up a lot. I gotta say, we just
Oh,
found so much fun when we were interviewing her.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she is like the most authentic person I think I've ever met in my life. She has like, her heart is massive. Like,
Yes.
never seen a bigger heart. She has this incredible ability to make you feel like family.
Good.
Yeah, and I'm just really deeply appreciative of having met her.
oh,
That's so wonderful. So how often do you actually get to see each other?
I try, like, we stay in touch very often. I try to go to Toronto to visit. But I do live 2 hours north of the city and work, my work schedule, like I work full time. And so it is a little bit trickier to coordinate, but we saw each
Yeah.
other recently. We went to the One of a Kind show in Toronto and spent the weekend. So when we do see each other, we try to like make it really
Make it,
count.
it's an
Yeah.
event. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I stayed, I think I stayed like 1 or 2 nights, and yeah,
That's
so
so
oh,
nice.
try to, really make sure that not too much time goes by between visits. And yeah, and we keep in touch, like, with
Everyone.
everyone,
yeah.
pretty much. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's such a blessing to have met that community. Honestly, it
Oh,
really, truly, truly, from the bottom of my heart, is the best part of the whole
yeah.
experience. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
how special those connections are. And yeah, just, and
Yeah.
and probably goes beyond just your season too, because the whole
Yeah.
community of all of the alumni are just,
Absolutely. And even like when I went through my breakup, like I
Mhm.
was watching the finale and I had just broken up with my partner. And so it was very difficult. It was a very difficult experience for me to do that. And, you know, like a lot of us were together in that moment. And I felt
Hmm.
so incredibly supported, not just in that moment, but in like the weeks and months afterwards. Like Guillaume was incredibly kind. Erica, incredibly kind. Rajan, Marcus, like, you know, like everyone, Rita, everyone, Elora, everyone was incredibly kind. And
Oh,
I just felt so supported and so held and um, so allowed to just be my messy, chaotic self without feeling like I needed to be this like curated perfect version. Like I just felt like I could just be and that I was held and supported and loved and like they really truly cared
Yeah.
about what I was going through. And
Mhm.
yeah, like again, just a testament to what a beautiful community and like how much heart and soul really,
Mhm.
you know, goes into
Yeah.
those friendships. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's wonderful. And once again, so much appreciation to the casting team for how they managed to bring together almost every single season the exact right group of people for
Mhm.
each one of those bakers to be able to have that relationship and that experience and that support and that community because it's
Yeah.
beautiful to see.
It's
It's like
magic.
equal parts art, science, and magic, you
Yeah.
know?
There you go. I
Yeah.
love it. Art,
Oh.
science, and magic.
Mhm.
That's definitely a good way to describe the Great
Mhm.
Canadian
And a little baking powder so it grows.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm just writing that down here.
Yeah.
Little baking
Good
powder for
recipe. That'll be the title of your cookbook.
Yeah.
part science, part
Art.
art, and part magic
Yeah.
Hmm.
with a little sprinkle of baking powder.
Yeah. And gold dust on everything because, you know, that's my
You
signature.
gotta put gold dust on
Gold dust.
everything.
Yeah. Or sprinkles.
Yeah.
Sprinkles or gold dust.
Yeah.
Sprinkles
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
good too.
Except I'm
Yeah.
kind of boring. And the only sprinkles I like to use are like the little white, like nonpareils.
Non-pro. I
Yeah.
know, right? I'm
You
with
don't
you
want to
too.
use the really big ones and crunch into them. It just kind of takes away from everything
No.
that you've been.
Just
My
aesthetic.
poor teeth.
But
Yeah,
it's really funny
exactly.
though that you should say that because I've got like, oh, I don't know, 70 different sprinkle types. And really, I use the little white
Yeah.
nonpareils most of
I
the
just
time.
feel like they're so classy. Like they look like
Mhm.
little pearls, you
Yeah,
know?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
They're not
nice.
offensive to eat.
right.
Exactly. Yeah. If you
Yeah.
can not break a tooth on them, then you can
Mm-hmm.
put them
It's a
on
good
top
day.
for sure. Yeah. It's a good day if you don't break your
Good
teeth
day.
on your baking.
I know. Anytime you do use like some maybe slightly larger ones to, just for a bit more emphasis, you always like, just make sure you take those bigger ones off. You do not want to eat them.
Yeah.
Yes. The tea party cake that I made and I put a like ring of pearls around the top tier at the bottom and I was just like, do I have to tell them not to try eating those? I mean, I don't want all those 10-year-olds to break their teeth, but
Yeah.
oh well.
Well, it's funny because like common sense sometimes is not that common.
I know. It's like you have
No.
to tell everybody everything. Nobody has come back to me reporting anything negative
Good.
about the
That's
pearls. So
That's a good
that's a
thing.
good thing. But yeah, I guess you have to. It's like all those warnings and disclaimers like do not use your hair dryer in the bathtub and stuff like
yeah.
that. Like they are there because somebody decided to do it at one point. So
Yeah.
I guess we need to just start making a list of all the things and ask people after you've delivered a cake to them to report back. What didn't work for
Yes.
you? What horrendous thing happened to you as a result of this cake? Just so I
Yes.
know to warn people for next time.
What
Right.
assumptions should I stop making?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
I guess that's the number one thing. Yes.
Oh,
Well, what do you say we play a little game of
are
this
Going
you
and
to
ready?
that?
Are you ready for? Well, you already know the drill.
Yeah, she
You've
knows the
played with
drill.
us before.
Probably a couple of these questions we asked you
Will be
last time,
repeat,
but
yeah, but
but we want to make
That's
some fresh.
okay. People's
We still
minds
want to
change.
Yeah, that's true. It has
Yes.
been a while.
Yes, they do change their minds on things.
But not on raisins.
Hey, hey,
Sorry.
I am sorry about the raisin thing. Man,
No, you're not.
I
No,
know I'm
you're
not. I've just come to
not.
realize that I am very wishy-washy apparently about like everything except melons, olives. That's pretty much it. I will not ever eat a melon willingly. So,
I'm not a
and
fan either.
if I ever come on this podcast and say that I have eaten a melon and enjoyed it, something would be seriously like it's not me. Someone has taken over my body. Never, never, never,
Who are
never.
you and what have you done with her?
Where is Lisa? Does she have an evil twin?
The evil twin who twirls her mustache and eats melons. All right. First question, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Yes, we
Easy.
knew that. The best coffee cake ever.
It's so good.
And you slayed coffee week, coffee and tea week, but mainly coffee week for you.
It was a coffee week for you for sure. Oh man. Yeah, all the stuff coming out of that week, I was like, this stuff looks so amazing. But your stuff, every time you used coffee in a bake, I was like, yeah, I really want that. Really want that. I
Yeah.
tried to make myself a cup of coffee for this podcast, but my machine decided to stop working. So I tried twice. I know.
Oh no. See,
Water.
that's why you gotta have 3 machines.
Well, I have
Machine
a
A,
French
machine
press.
B, machine C.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Right? You're prepared.
No machines, but just like methods of like getting
Methods.
coffee.
I do. I have
Like a French press.
the big, huge industrial machine, which is my go-to every morning that wakes my husband up because he thinks it sounds like there's a jet engine right above his head. That's the one that stopped working. I also have the French press.
Yeah.
And I also have a Keurig downstairs in the Airbnb that in an emergency I can run down there if there's nobody staying there and make myself a cup of coffee. But
Right.
I only had a few minutes, so I decided I would be good and just drink water instead.
So, Pamela, being the coffee freak that you are, how many different ways can you make coffee at your place?
Oh, well, I have a like standard like drip coffee machine. I have an espresso machine. I have a French press, and I have one of those little mocha pot thingies.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got 4 methods of making coffee, and I also have a secret stash in the basement of special Japanese coffees I brought back from my trip where you like rip the top open and it has these little flaps that you place
Hang
over
on.
and then it's like a pour over.
Over.
I love that.
I have 5 methods of coffee making.
Nice. And what's your go-to?
It used to be the Nespresso, but recently I bought like a actual coffee machine, like a drip coffee machine. And so I make like a bulletproof coffee every morning,
Yeah.
which like brew the coffee and then in my blender, I'll put the coffee, I'll put some collagen powder, I'll put some MCT oil and honey and some cream or creamer, and I'll blend it and then I'll have that in the morning. And will fuel my workout.
Nice.
Get some, protein in there too, kind of sneakily. But also fuels the caffeine addiction. So
Yeah, perfect. So I'm coming to St. Catharines next month. And I will have a rental car, and I think I just need to drive up to Stainer and come get a coffee.
Yes, you do. I have a guest room.
Okay, it's a lot to fit into a 6-day trip, but I definitely will contact you about that because it would be nice to see you in person.
Oh,
That would be
Told you to
awesome.
come.
I'm so jealous now.
Come. We're gonna see Vincent and Stephen too, so you should come, Christina. Come on.
I can't make it happen that time.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring it up in the middle
That's
of
okay. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you guys. I'm thrilled and I will be there in spirit. How's that?
Yes.
Excellent.
Well,
I'll send treats back for you.
Oh,
that sounds amazing. Okay, so now she feels better.
And now I feel
Yeah.
a lot better. No, I feel great that you guys are hopefully going to get a chance to
That would
meet
be
up.
nice. I
That'd
would
be
really like
awesome.
that. Yeah.
That'd be so cool for you guys. All right. Sweet or savory?
Sweet.
Yeah.
I like honestly, my favorite is a combination of sweet and savory. Like those
Mm,
Korean cream cheese buns, like that technical.
you
Oh my
just made
God.
them.
I know, I just made them and I made them for my colleagues and for my parents, and then I put a few in the freezer for me. But I love the combination of sweet and
Yeah.
savory, like
Mhm.
sweet tea in
Yeah.
particular.
Mm.
But if I had to choose between sweet or savory, I would choose sweet.
Yeah.
Like I will
Just
leave parts of my dinner so that I can have dessert. Yeah.
I love you. I love you even more.
just you talking about those Korean cream cheese buns, and I like looking at your post yesterday and then talking about it now, like I can just taste that sweet, buttery,
Oh,
garlicky sauce
good.
that you dip them
So
in.
good.
That is the most incredible combination of sweet and savory right there.
It really is. And the
Totally.
texture, it's
Yeah.
just like this pillowy bun with this like hearty cream cheese in the middle, and then like the outside of the bun has a little bit of a crisp on the top, but then it's
Yeah.
like it's custardy. It's just it's everything.
Oh,
It's
So
everything
good.
you want to be. Yeah,
it's
It's
the
so good.
perfect bite. It
it
really
really
is.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And you,
that's that magic sauce, as I will call it, that custard that you dip the bun
Oh,
in.
so good. And I used Patty actually made me her special like garlic confit. So she last time I went to go see her, she gave me a jar and she
oh,
used that same garlic confit recipe in the best cookie I've ever had in my whole life, which was her sweet heat with meat cookie, which was renamed on the show. But it was like the one, it was almost like a pizza cookie.
Yeah. 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 I
Oh
remember that one.
God, that is the single best thing I ate in all 8 episodes. That was the single best bite that I have taken. And I still like that cookie lives in my mind rent
you
free
dream about it.
Oh.
Yeah.
about it. And so she made me a jar of her special garlic, and I used that in my
Oh.
in Korean cream cheese bun. So it has extra love.
Oh, the patty
But
love, the patty effect.
I haven't even told her that actually. I should message her and tell her.
yeah, tell her. That's
Yeah.
great. Oh my,
Oh, sounds delicious. And I think
I'm
I think we need to
drooling.
reach out to Patty for that cookie recipe.
I know. I need it too. I don't even have it yet.
What?
Yeah, I
It's
gotta
better
work
when
on
she makes it
it.
I
for you.
thought you were her bestie. What is
I
she doing
know.
holding out? Patty, the
Come
girl
on,
needs the
bestie.
cookie recipe.
Also, though, Patty is an incredible cook. Like
Mm.
Mm.
she's a phenomenal baker. But oh my God, if she was on like MasterChef, watch out, world.
Oh,
Because
she should do
Oh,
that.
she should
oh,
totally do that.
oh my God, like she made me this um incredible meal. We went to this Second City show together about like the horrors, the dumpster fire that is online dating. And she made me this most delicious meal before, and it was this like gochujang chicken with this like Asian celery salad. And I was like, oh my God, I died and went to heaven. Yeah.
Okay, so change of
Oh,
plans. You're coming down and I'm coming up and we're going to go to Patty's
Yes,
house and
yes.
she's gonna make us dinner and cookies.
If
We'll
I
tell
have
her
to,
later.
I have to kidnap her and tie her up, I
Yeah,
will.
I know you will. That's great. I think
Yeah,
she'll forgive you because she's your bestie.
sure.
oh, that's crazy. Oh,
Okay, it is
mm,
a little crazy. We won't
I'm
act.
hungry again.
I know, starving. Puff pastry, make it or buy it.
Make it.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, I would make it. I have bought it before and I was like, this does not taste the same.
No.
It's not the
Yeah,
same because there's no way that they can make and sell puff pastry for a reasonable price using butter.
right.
So there's almost always something else in there that ain't butter.
Mm,
And it just doesn't taste the same.
You
yeah.
need
So
the butter.
Yeah.
yeah.
Need the
Yes,
Yeah,
butter.
homemade is usually best,
yes.
right?
And
Yeah.
it's fresh. It's like,
Mhm.
you can laminate it as much as you want. or as little as you want. You can go rough puff, you can go full puff. Like it's whatever, however intensive you really want it to be. And you can do it on one day and then save it, put it in the freezer and come back to it. It's very reasonable in that way. Like it's not something that has to be made in the moment. Like a cake, cake batter, you have to bake it right away, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Unless it's gluten-free. There's my tip for you.
That's
Make sure that
interesting.
you rest it. If it's gluten-free, let it sit for a little while.
Interesting. So is that it hydrates?
It's
Like-
more the chemical reaction because you're definitely counting on more the reaction if you're putting like an acid in there with the baking soda or baking powder, whatever, salt. Those things need just a little bit more time. And when they sit there before you put them into the oven, it makes a big difference with baking.
Interesting. Okay, I did not know that. Now that I'm on this journey of like alternative baking, good tip to keep in my
I got
back
lots of tips for gluten-free,
Okay,
dairy-free,
thank
etc.
I'll be reaching out.
I'd be very happy to provide some. And if they don't work, I'm sorry.
They
I promise
work
it
on the
works
West
for me.
Coast.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. That makes a difference, but we're not going to worry about that part. That tip definitely should stand.
All right. Cookies or bars?
Cookies.
Mm.
I love a cookie. Today in my department at work, I was having a conversation with my colleagues about not underestimating the power of the humble chocolate chunk cookie.
Mm.
It is such a humble dessert, but it is unparalleled in its ability to incite comfort and joy.
Right? Especially
And
freshly baked.
Yes.
Warm and gooey, and then brown butter.
Oh,
Add a little flaky sea salt on the top. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I
that's still humble.
chocolate chips. I just buy like a bar of like a good quality dark chocolate, and I chop it up and I throw it in there because and like most people know this, but a lot of people still don't. Like chocolate chips are designed not to melt because they're a compound chocolate. So they're not really made like a couverture chocolate, which has a high quantity of cocoa butter in it. Instead, it has some type of oil or like hydrogenated oil that is designed not to melt at room temperature. And so once your cookies are, you bake them off, the chocolate chips retain their shape, but you don't get those like pools of like gooey chocolate that you get if you just chop up a bar.
Yum. So you don't buy chocolate chunks, you just chop up a bar of chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds so awesome and rustic.
And it doesn't have to be inaccessible or expensive. Like if you go to No Frills or Zares or Loblaws or Superstore, anywhere where they sell no name brand, like the yellow brand, you can get a bar of good quality, like 70% dark chocolate made in France with very limited ingredients for under $2 for 100 grams. And that's, in a pinch, like that's what I use. I have my favorite, things that I like to use, but they're not easy to find or access. They're not always accessible. So that is an excellent option. A really good.
Yeah. Their chocolate is actually really, really good. Those bars for exactly that, for baking, I guess for eating as well. And often they go on sale for 4 bars for $5.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when you stock up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And even the white chocolate is actually white chocolate because it's actually got cocoa butter in it.
It's not candy.
At least a quarter, if not a fifth of the price of a brand name couverture.
Yeah.
That's a good tip. That's a good baking scrap right there.
Yes, it is. That's my baking scrap for the day.
Oh, no, because we're going to ask you for another one. So.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Signature, technical, or showstopper?
Showstopper.
Yeah. And you excelled at those.
I love the showstopper because I am a planner through and through. And so I have more time and space with which to work my plans and multitask. And so I can accomplish quite a lot if I have just that little extra hour even. I can just do so much more because I can plan for that. Whereas the signature is harder to do something really impressive with because it's just not enough time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the technical, it's funny, I was the most excited for the technical
That's interesting.
Yeah.
because I sucked at the I was inarguably the worst technical baker on my season.
You know, we're still going to argue with you, but yeah.
I mean, my hot take is I didn't think that I deserved to always be at the bottom of the technical.
No,
Just
I agree with that.
We agree with you on that one.
thank you.
Yep.
Definitely.
But I humbly accepted my outcomes, and I didn't let it take the joy of approaching the technical away from me. So
Yeah.
I continued to approach it with fresh eyes, and every time I thought, today's my chance to do better, and today's my chance to like get it right, and then I'd fail, and then I would cry.
It's because you don't have a chance to plan, right?
Yeah.
Because if you look at it and you're like, okay, I'm going to read this recipe through 5 times to make sure I understand it, and then I'm going to plan the order of which I'm going to do everything, well, then half your time's up right there.
Yeah.
And you know what was really hard as a teacher? It like the technical is designed for one type of learner only. And so if you're good at reading instructions and that's it, and you can visualize everything in your head, then you're golden. But I need a little bit of time to process.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more time than the average person to process. I need a visual.
Mhm.
I need descriptions of what it's supposed to look like, taste like, smell like. I need to see at each stage what I'm like, the visual cues of what this is supposed to look like, even envisioning the final thing. Like when we had to make the hancha, which was like the pastry with the almond, like almost like a almond frangipane type like filling. I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know what this is supposed to look like at any step. It was just a shot in the dark, a total guess. And yeah, I don't know how I managed to like even get it done. But it was just a straight up guess. And that's what made the technicals very, very challenging. It's that on the one hand, yeah, it's a level playing field in regards to everyone having the same amount of time, the same ingredients, same set of instructions, same information missing. But, you know, I really commend Elora, whose language, like whose first language is not English. Like that's very hard. I really commend Patty, who literally had a brain aneurysm and a stroke and had to relearn, you know, like how to even spell her name and to be able to interpret, you know, like all of that information and just throw it together. And like my mind was blown at what every single person in that tent was able to do with such little like actual information.
Yeah, that reminds me of Natalia coming on our podcast and English being her second language and how she was actually really quite new to Canada and to English. And she said the instructions for the technical said make a dollop. And she's like, what is a dollop? You know, she has no idea what that is and she can't ask anybody. So that's just that extra level of of difficulty. But you're right about people having different, you know, learning styles. And
and you know what? It just reminds me of this quote. I don't know. I think it might have been Einstein. I could be wrong, but it was like, you know, everybody is intelligent, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its entire life believing that it is stupid.
Right. I love that.
That's a great quote.
It really is.
True.
Yeah.
Let's
and
see
there's like this image, this comic that comes to mind where there's a professor and he's sitting at a desk in kind of like a field and there's a tree and there's like a fish, like a little goldfish in a bowl, and there's a monkey and there's like, you know, an elephant and a whole bunch of different animals. And he says, okay, so now we're going to make the exam really fair. Your job is to climb that tree. Everyone gets the same exam because that's what's fair. And it's like, well, it's equal, but it's not equitable.
That's right. Yeah, 100%. Oh,
yeah.
Totally.
Okay, so it says it's often attributed to Albert Einstein, but it is inaccurately attributed to him. So who really said it? Who knows? I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
But yes, it's a lovely one.
It's a fabulous quote though,
Yeah.
and it says so much in,
Mhm.
and it's
It's
so
so
true.
important. I have
Yeah.
friends, I have one friend in nursing school who was my best friend. She's still one of my best friends. She's my buff. Um,
Oh,
we call each other buff. Um,
boof.
from nursing school, she's about 20 years younger than me, but somehow either she's really mature or I'm really immature or a bit of both.
Well, that's like me and Patty.
Meet in the middle.
She just cannot take a written exam to save her life.
Mm.
She has a really, really hard time with that. And so, she had to do her NCLEX, which is the nursing exam, more times than she would have liked to. And it just got so frustrating thinking, she's an excellent nurse. She's incredibly smart, knows so much. She's very talented. She's so kind and loving and such a good, person to be taking care of you.
Right.
So why are we not finding a different way to test her on this?
Mhm.
And I don't know if there's any way to do that in the tent with the technicals.
Well, interestingly, there
Uh-huh.
is a version of the baking show in Uruguay,
There
and it's
is.
called El Gran Pastelero, which is like the great
Oh.
baker. And what
Oh,
they
I
do,
love it.
they have their own French judge who speaks Spanish with a French accent.
Oh,
It's so cute. I know. I know. And so, for their technicals, what they do is they bring out the thing that they have to make.
Give
And
you a
all
visual.
the bakers come up and they can look at it, they can smell it, they can take notes,
I like
and then
that.
they go back and they recreate it.
that's brilliant.
Mhm.
Really interesting.
That's
Yeah.
really
It's a
good.
different model.
The other thing I've seen, not on baking show necessarily, but on like what's that show? It's is it Top Shelf? It's the one with
Master
oh my
Chef,
God, I'm so bad today.
Master Chef,
Uh,
Top Chef.
One of
Chef.
those
Uh,
anyway, where they actually will cook up whatever they want them to do. And it's kind of their technical, but the chef actually does the whole thing. And then they go back to their stations and they have
Right.
to recreate it.
Master Chef does that. Master Chef,
Master Chef?
for
Okay.
sure does. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, you're
Shout
right.
out to
So-
Yes, you're
Barry,
right.
my pal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe that would
You're
be
right.
a more fairer
right.
way of doing things where they could actually see it being done. And actually Great Chocolate Showdown would do that too for
Yeah.
their technical challenges
Yeah.
as well, where one of the chefs would come up and they
Yes,
would
I
do the,
remember.
right?
I auditioned for Great Chocolate Showdown, I think for 3 years.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, the first 3 seasons.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
I would never want to do that.
Oh, I was like, I love chocolate. I knew next to nothing about how to work with it, but I loved it.
So let me just try. I can figure it out. You can just be like Steven and be like, I watched a YouTube video on it.
Yeah,
I
and I'll
know how
just
to do
quickly
it.
whip up some bonbons.
Yeah,
Just
that's
like that,
how I
we're
learned
all
to
put together.
temper in the microwave was from YouTube.
Yeah, which is pretty
Yeah.
awesome. That's my
Yeah.
favorite way of doing it. Definitely. Yeah.
YouTube is like this incredible resource library.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It really is.
It really is.
We
Yeah.
used to have surgeons come in and they'd say to the patient, like, I watched a YouTube video on this last night. I'm like, this is not the time. You don't say that to them right before we put them to sleep.
Oh my God.
You're all good. I watched a couple of YouTubes last night.
He's joking. He's joking.
Could you imagine as they're about to? Oh my, no,
Don't do that.
That would be
It's okay. I
horrible.
was really good at the game operation.
Right. That was the best game out there. That was my favorite.
Things not to say to your patient before they go off to sleep. Definitely.
Right.
Ugh.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
Next one.
Cake week or cookie week?
Cake week.
You slayed cake week. Yeah.
I slayed the third part of cake week,
The
but
third.
All that matters.
That's the part that matters.
All that
yeah.
matters.
Oh, thanks.
So
I
is that why
love-
you just love cake in general? And that's why that would be your choice?
Yeah, I love cake in general, and I just feel like there are endless combinations of flavors and endless, ways of infusing flavor and texture, and like you can make it look so many different ways. I love cookies. I absolutely love cookies, but I just feel like, I don't know, with cake you could put cookies on top of it.
Yes.
Like There's so much,
That's
Right?
true.
like Rita's road trip cake.
Yeah.
Oh, my heart. With the sugar cookie cars.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
so cute.
love that one.
I
She did
love
not
that
get
one.
enough credit for that one.
seriously,
Yeah.
seriously. That was
Yeah.
like visually one of like the most beautiful things I saw
Yeah.
on our season. Like I
Yeah.
love the colors,
Mhm.
the cartoon, like
Yeah. It
just
felt so cartoony. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, the consistency, and it was just incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're right. She didn't get as much
She
like
did
oohs and
not.
ahs as I thought she would.
She really didn't. I think, well, even during our recap,
We
like,
talked about that.
yeah, we talked about that. We just like, because I'm like, what I mean, brilliant
Mhm.
execution. Like, I really loved all that's why I think I loved you so much as well, is that you were just so thoughtful and methodical, and the how you interpreted the brief was just so spot on, and just
Thank
your
you.
interpretation I thought was just very, very clever. And Rita did the same thing, especially with that particular bake. And yeah, I just thought it was maybe not appreciated as much as it probably should have been.
If
It didn't get
Pamela,
the airtime that
Yeah,
I thought it
yeah,
deserved. It was
yeah,
just such a true representation of like her essence as a person, of like it's just so fun. You know,
yeah.
it was
I love
so
Rita.
she's
Yeah,
yeah.
wonderful.
She was
yeah,
just like such a breath of fresh air, and I'm so blessed that she was my hotel neighbor.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's
Nice.
Mhm.
lovely. I love having chats with her. She's just so encouraging all
Mhm.
the time. Yeah.
Yeah. And like authentically,
Yeah,
not in this like performative way, and this like
Right.
truly
yeah,
genuinely like really believes,
yeah,
that
yeah,
like in the kindness that she's putting out. So
Yeah.
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 No, she's a gem for sure. Like yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. Well, I'm sure that if you had been judging Pamela, then she would have gotten a lot more
oh yeah.
accolades for that.
Oh yeah.
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 All right.
Uh,
Let's see.
Which
Well,
is a great segue to the
great
next.
segue. I didn't even realize. Next question. Judging or hosting a baking show?
ooh, I would like to judge.
Ooh,
I would love to
interesting.
judge. I would also love to host, actually. If I had ever, like in my life, if I ever get presented with an opportunity to do either of those things, I would jump at the chance.
Hmm.
Um, just because like I have so much passion for it, but
Mhm.
also I think that my experience as a teacher would lend itself really well to very
Yeah.
fishing.
There,
Um,
yeah, great
yeah, not
points.
just my experience as a participant, but also as a teacher.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Nice.
um, and getting to taste all the things.
Yeah,
I
right.
know.
Yeah.
But
That'd be
the
great.
hosting is something that also like would attract me because of the connection, the ability to like build more of a connection.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
where with judging, you don't really get to do that because you want to
Yeah, you
be
have to
yeah,
stay
Yeah,
kind
you
of
gotta, yeah, yeah, that makes
observe.
total sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it totally does.
interpersonal like I'm very interpersonally driven.
Hmm.
So I would love, to host for that reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love
Nice.
to do either. I'd say like both.
Yeah. Would you
Oh,
ever want
that's
to
allowed.
bake on another show again?
I would.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would totally
Totally.
bake on the show.
Yeah. Nice.
100%. Because
Fun.
I know what to expect now. And I'm like, oh, if I could get that far and like if I had the mental and physical resilience to get to that level on the first try,
Hmm.
damn, I think I could do it again.
You could
I
do it.
think
You
you
and you
could.
totally would. And you totally would.
Oh,
And preferably
yes.
on a show where there's no technical.
Yeah, right.
You can do the grand, what did you call it? The
El
great bake.
gran pastelero.
Thank you. I
Wow.
was like,
Yes.
it's not pastelito,
Sounds
but it's pasta something. Don't judge me on my language skills right now. I'm sorry.
That was a great attempt
Oh,
because it's
really? I
so
said grand something. That's
good. I knew what you were talking about.
well,
So
thank you. Thank goodness. How did your students react to you being on the show?
they were really sweet. Like
Yeah.
yeah, like I would get like I have these, especially like I teach in like a rural farming community, and so sometimes I see like my, co-op boys with their mullets and like their cowboy boots, and they're like, "Miss, you better win." I'm like, I can't tell you. But they would go home and watch it, and I was like, "Oh
That's
my heart."
sweet.
Yeah, this is like so outside of their wheelhouse of like interests, but yet
Mhm.
they were watching and like always had something positive and like encouraging to say, and yeah, it was really sweet. Yeah.
Aw,
That's wonderful. I'm glad
that
it was
is
such a good experience for you.
It really was. Yeah.
Mhm.
And my school was really kind. Like my department was so incredibly supportive, so incredibly sweet. Um, and my administration was so incredibly supportive. Like my principal and vice principals, like HR interviewed them all to be like, are you sure that like you're okay with letting her take this leave?
Yeah.
Um, and they all were like, absolutely. And they taste tested all my stuff and gave me feedback. And when after the show aired, they called this like last minute stand up meeting in the cafeteria, and I thought this is going to be horrible, but I'm like, oh my god, stand up meetings, who died? Like this is going to,
Oh,
yeah. So, and no, it was like they had bought the biggest bouquet of flowers I've ever seen in my life, and my admin was like, we were really proud of like how you did and like how you represented our school, and um yeah, I just like ah!
oh,
It was just
yeah.
really like really sweet. It was really
oh,
cool. Yeah.
oh, how wonderful.
Yeah.
It sounds like you just had overall like such a great experience and so much love and so much support from all of
Yeah.
those people around you and family and friends and, you know,
Yeah, a lot more than I
your
expected.
whole community.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Because
wonderful.
I'm the kind of person my whole life I've just kind of been used to like not being noticed. And so I was always like an under the radar, like fly under the radar kind of person. Don't cause problems, don't seek attention. I would believe it or not, I was painfully introverted for the vast majority of my life.
Right.
And it wasn't until I became a teacher that I was forced into being more of an
Yeah.
ambivert.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it just I was not used to being seen in that way. And so it felt really I was really deeply appreciative.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's so
That's so
wonderful.
wonderful. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, I mean,
I
have
mean, it
I got
warms the cockles of my heart.
same. Yeah,
Right?
it's just so wonderful. And
Yeah.
obviously, people don't do that for people that are not so nice. Do you know what I mean? Not, do you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
not taking anything. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, you mean a lot to your whole school, your
Yeah.
students, your faculty, your administrators, and I think, yeah, so all of the kindness and things that you would do, like we talked about this at the beginning, right? Of how you give and give and give, and then sometimes it doesn't get returned back.
Right.
And there was like a huge big statement like of
Mhm.
Yeah.
love and support and admiration
Yeah.
that they have for you.
And
So
it's really it was really meaningful because I think I'm just so used to being the person in my life that gives without the expectation of receiving anything.
yeah.
Mhm.
But it reminded me of that, that it's okay to also feel like I'm allowed to receive too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
Is it
yeah,
hard
Absolutely.
to receive? Is it
it is
kind of
hard.
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it is. Yeah. So that's something that I'm unlearning at this
Yeah.
stage in my life, that it's okay to also receive. And actually, we're all deserving of receiving.
Yeah.
yeah, for
Yeah.
you to recognize and believe that you
Mhm.
are worthy
Mhm.
and you are beautiful and important and smart and all those things, and that people see you. And it's a foreign feeling, but it's
Yeah.
something that you really deserve to recognize in yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, we see you.
We do.
She saw you immediately.
Totally.
Thanks.
We're so
I saw
grateful.
ya. I
Yeah.
saw ya.
You saw all the
I,
sides.
I
She's
saw it
claiming
all.
you.
I saw it
You saw the
all.
tears
As a
and
big
you saw
fan.
all of it.
So adorable.
All right, going back to this or that. Baking in the tent or baking at home?
In the tent.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
heat and all.
Oh yeah. Heat and all.
Nice.
Heat and all. Like Rita said, I get to bake in a tent. You know?
With your friends,
With
with
my
all your new
It's like
friends.
baking summer camp. It's like, like I can't conceive of a world where I wouldn't enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, whereas at home, it's just different. Like I love baking at home, but
Yeah.
there's again going back to that aspect of like community and
Mhm.
learning. Like everybody
Yeah.
has their own unique niche set of skills. And
Mhm.
I have learned so much, from every single person that I
Yeah.
met as part of this community, like things that I'd never even conceived of, where I was like, wow, my mind is just blown. So baking in the tent for sure.
All
Nice.
right.
Love
Yeah.
it.
Holiday special. Check.
Yeah.
Pamela's in.
Oh,
Pamela's
hope.
in. Pamela's
I
in.
hope. If anybody's listening, please come.
All of the shows. Come call in. She'll take it. Any
Mhm.
offer. Judging, hosting, baking. She's all in.
She's so ready.
Call in. I'm down to make more friends.
Just ask the board early.
Yes.
Okay, cozy night in or fun night out?
Cozy night in.
Even a fun night out with Patty.
I was gonna say that too.
Cozy night in with Patty.
Oh, cozy night in with Patty. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
sounds
awesome.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Those are the best because all we do is put on our stretchy pants and eat.
Oh, and like drink wine and chat and
No,
watch
actually,
anything?
Patty can't drink at all, and
Oh, okay.
I don't particularly drink either. So, we just eat.
I don't think either of you needs to have any alcohol to have a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Probably not.
we just really enjoy each other's company. I think when you
Yeah.
like if I were to go out with Patty, there's so much external stimulation. Whereas when we have a cozy night in, we get to just like connect and share stories and catch up and eat something and just like have the best time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just, like take off the makeup and put on the stretchy pants and be cozy.
I
Yeah.
like it.
She's got nobody to introduce you to as a famous person.
Exactly.
It's
I don't
just
have to
like
do this at the pet store or this at Creative Bag or this at Bulk Barn or wherever.
Do people recognize you though when you're out and about?
I interestingly, I wasn't expecting to be, but I have been.
Yeah.
I got recognized at a Taylor Swift concert, which was bizarre.
Oh.
Nice.
No. I'm like a
Oh.
Z-list celebrity here.
You're like,
No.
do you see who's on that stage right now? I do not count.
And they're like, it's Pamela from Great Canadian Baking
I
Show.
was like, this is really ironic and weird.
And you're the one who
One
can't sing.
person. Yeah, right. I can't sing or dance.
Hey, but at a T Swift concert to be.
Yeah, in November. It was like, I think the semifinal had just aired.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. My sister was there with my niece.
Oh,
at-
yeah.
Yeah, at Toronto. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
It
pretty
it was
awesome.
amazing. It was amazing. And then I've been recognized at my yoga studio
Yeah.
and at the grocery store near my work.
Cool.
Does it feel
Yeah.
weird?
And at the
Yeah.
post office and my pharmacy.
Wow. Next up, it'll be like she'll have her own like Kramer Road,
Right?
Pamela Kramer Street.
Oh my gosh.
They'll give you the
Oh.
keys to the city.
Yeah. Oh.
Why
We'll have
not?
big bows and then eclairs for all.
There you go.
That sounds really good. Did you see Matt Adler's, not eclair, but he made a millefeuille that had this puff pastry that was cut the other way, and it was chocolate, and it was just the thinnest, crispiest thing. And then he had a chocolate creme on it, and it was just like, oh my gosh, go look at it. It's so beautiful, and he gives
Oh,
you full
I
directions
love
on how to
him.
make it.
He is probably the first YouTube baker I ever like subscribed to when I started baking. His channel was probably the first one that I'd
Hmm.
subscribed to.
He
Yeah.
is
Back when he
amazing.
was the
Amazing.
topless baker.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never saw him back then, but now I'm like, I can't believe he's self-taught
I know.
and
know.
yeah, just what he puts out is incredible. So we got to
Yeah.
start working on him, Christina. Get him on the
Trying to get him on.
Yeah.
One bake-off person at a time.
I know you're working so hard on organizing all of this stuff. And thank you for that. I appreciate
Oh,
it.
no worries. All right.
All
So
right.
the last this or that question, which I know this one already, which is great. I love this. Butter tarts, raisins or no
No.
raisin? Another reason
It's a
why
firm no.
I fell in love with you instantly. Not gonna
It's
lie.
a firm no, and that's never gonna change. I'm sorry.
Fine.
Sorry,
It's
Lisa.
fine.
Oh, now look who's got the judgment face.
Me sitting here smiling. That is not a judgment
You
face.
weren't. We'll have to rewind that one back as you're like
I
drinking your
will.
water like this.
No, I honestly don't care if you don't want raisins in your butter
I
tart.
do
I'll
have
eat
to
it
say,
without
though,
raisins.
I do really enjoy raisins, dried cranberries, currants in Irish soda bread.
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah.
And bread
Because
is fine.
I toast it.
Yes.
Yeah, same with bread, like a
Yeah.
cinnamon raisin bread. I
Yeah.
love it. I'll slice it, I'll toast it, I'll slather it with butter
Yep.
and a little flaky salt and some honey. Oh my gosh, so good.
Yeah.
Do you like
But
lasagna?
there is no place for a raisin in a butter tart. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I said what I said, and I'll say it with my chest.
Good job. All right. You too. That's totally fine. And like I said, if you give me a butter tart that's homemade and not from Safeway, if it has raisins or doesn't have raisins, I'll still eat it.
Nothing against Safeway.
Nothing against Safeway.
Pecans, though. Oh,
Are there any
pecans
Safeway?
and my favorite.
Which ones? Sorry?
Pecans?
Pecans?
Pecans. If you throw some pecans in there, now we're talking. Like I
Mhm.
love basically like a mini pecan pie. It's
Yeah.
like butter tart with pecans.
That's
right?
true.
But
That
no, we
sounds-
don't have Safeway in Ontario, I don't think.
Yeah,
I
no,
think-
I don't even know if there's.
Maybe it's a Western thing.
Yeah.
I don't think
Also
there's many.
American. There's-
Yeah, it's
I've-
American as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to Safeway in the US, but I've never seen a Safeway in Ontario.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been to a Loblaws.
What?
Yeah, we don't have any here.
No.
Do
What
you
about-
have any in Vancouver, Christine?
Well, Loblaws would be like
They own a couple of different places.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the Loblaw Corporation, I guess.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
own
Yeah.
the Great Canadian Superstore.
Superstore. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they
No,
bought
Yeah.
Thrifties
They just
too,
don't call them Loblaws here. So
Okay.
We've never had it just a plain old Loblaws,
no.
Okay.
but Great Canadian Superstore
Yeah.
we have. Yeah, and Walmart, which is not.
Yeah.
Don't buy your butter tarts from Walmart either.
No. We have Save on Foods. Save on
Save on
Foods.
Foods is what we
Yeah.
have most of the time.
Yeah.
That's my
You
best
guys
one.
have like Metro? Is that
Yeah.
an Ontario one? Yeah. We
Yeah,
don't have
we have
out
Metro.
here.
Yeah. Metro, Food Basics. Those are part, I think, of the same company. Yeah. And then another one that escapes me.
That's all good.
Yeah.
Christina has much more interesting grocery stores than I do, so I've kind of run out of things to say. Nothing. I'm in Victoria. We get some stuff, but I mean we're on an
Yeah.
island, so
Yeah.
a lot of stuff is off limits here. I have to go to the fancy place across the water to get.
Yeah.
I mean, we were doing the 1,000-layer
Oh yeah.
Stupid.
1,000-layer
moon cake.
food cake from
Oh,
last
yeah.
season. Yeah.
We
season
had to
Yeah.
get all the ingredients because I couldn't find any of
Yeah.
those ingredients here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And even for me, it was a little difficult. The yolks, the salted egg yolks.
Salted
Thank
egg.
God it
Yep.
was around one of the
New Year.
no, it wasn't around New Year because it was back in like October, but there was
Mm.
something, they were still
was
around,
something.
like they still had them. So, but yeah, I had to go to
Right.
a few places to get that. And taro root
Yeah. Yeah.
isn't
Yeah.
isn't super easy to find either.
Yeah. I have my challenges here in Stayner, Ontario too.
Yeah, yeah, I bet for sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
well, that's it for
mm.
this or that. I'm very happy for you people not eating raisins. That's totally fine. I'm not
More raisins for
judging.
you.
Yeah, sure. I'll take all the raisins. I like glazette raisins. I mean, I would
Oh,
rather
I
have
love them.
raisins than a
Yeah.
butter tort. So yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
I love
You like
glossettes.
glossettes?
I do love glossettes. Yeah. I love
Look at
them.
her. See, now she's judging. She
Mm-hmm.
can't help it. It's just like,
There, I'll just do this.
it's fine. It's
It's all
fine.
good.
Everything's fine.
Everything's
Your
really
political
good.
smile.
Yeah, it's all good.
You can't judge somebody for what they like or don't like.
I
Just,
know, I don't. I'm just thinking me
just me.
personally. It's
Yeah.
just me. It's
So you imagine tasting it when we mention it. You imagine putting it in your mouth and it makes you do that face.
a glossette.
Yeah.
I haven't had a glossette, and when's the last time I would have actually put a glossette in my mouth? Probably when I was like 6.
Okay, that's a bit.
Oh, it's
And
worth revisiting.
I did not like them then, and I've not had one ever since.
It's worth revisiting.
Is it?
It is.
Have they gotten
Yeah.
better?
Yes. And also like a good like fruit and nut milk chocolate bar. Oh,
Mm,
delicious.
see, I think here's my challenge. I'm not a massive chocolate fan,
Okay.
you know? And so I think that's so chocolate
putting
covered,
raisins together
chocolate
with
covered
chocolate.
anything isn't really that appealing for me unless it's
Chocolate
like
covered pretzels.
No, I'd rather have them peanut butter filled pretzels.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
It also-
Yogurt covered
Yeah, yogurt covered
fruit
pretzels.
is all good, but it's the chocolate because normally they don't, unless you're making your own and you use decent chocolate. I just find a lot of the chocolate candy, like,
Mm,
you
yeah,
know what I
the
mean?
coating.
The
Yeah.
coating's just off,
Got
right?
that waxy mouthfeel.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. So if you're making your own, I think I could like a chocolate bark with like
Mhm.
lots of interesting things. I'm
Mhm.
totally okay with. But yeah, it's the store bought.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense. Go grab a few of
Totally
those
fair.
bars from Superstore and
Yeah.
chop them up and make your own fruit
Make
and nut
your own
bar or something along those lines.
whatever. Yeah.
All right.
Coconut though, like a coconut, like truffle covered in dark chocolate. That's all right. I could take
Yeah,
that.
like a bounty bar.
Yes.
I'm
Those
getting
are good.
hungry.
I know. You probably need to eat something.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we wrap up and let you go and make your dinner, do you have a baking scrap for all of us besides the one that you shared earlier?
Well, that kind of was my baking scrap.
All right.
Well, I'm sure you've got an endless number of them that
And if you don't, that's also fine.
yeah, that's all good too.
I think, but yeah, I guess don't really waste like if you're I guess one of my scraps would be you can get amazing quality vanilla bean paste at Home Sense for like $10.
Oh,
Yeah. So instead of buying expensive vanilla beans,
yeah.
go to Home Sense, go to where they have all like the food and the
Food
baking and stuff.
Yeah.
And more often than not, you will find probably a really good quality vanilla bean paste there.
Mhm.
Like I've bought the Hey Lala brand vanilla bean paste for $10 there.
Oh wow.
They have
That's
it.
really good.
Yeah.
Nice. Actually,
Yeah.
also speaking of vanilla beans and good vanilla bean paste and great prices, Costco had some recently as well of the.
Mm.
Really? Oh, she's gone. She's gone to get some.
I just, but look at the size of this jar.
Oh, that
yeah.
one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
and that's
like
the good stuff.
That is good stuff.
$29.99.
No way.
Okay.
Yeah, at Costco.
Okay. I'm
So
gonna have to
hopefully they
look
still
up.
have some because you know how Costco changes up
Goes
stuff.
through it.
But they had some not that long ago.
Okay,
I
good
just
to know.
bought some vanilla bean paste today from the market down the street and it was $14.99 for a tiny, tiny jar. So,
Yeah.
but at least I have some because I don't want to take all the vanilla beans out of my bottle of vanilla and scrape them out and not have them in there to continue.
I
making
just find the
fun.
paste goes a longer way than the actual vanilla beans.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Bang for your buck. And yeah. And then I reserve my vanilla bean paste for applications where I'm not cooking it. So if I'm doing frosting or a whipped cream, then I'll put my vanilla bean paste in there and I'll use vanilla extract if I'm baking because then the alcohol bakes out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Oh, it sounds so good.
brilliant.
I just love when you see something with those little specks of vanilla in there.
Mhm.
That's just so yummy. Especially
Mm-hmm.
whipping cream. I just love whipped cream with vanilla bean whipped cream. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good.
Nice. Uh-huh.
Gonna have to go to Home Sense for more reasons.
Yeah, like we need more reasons
We
to go
don't
to
need
Home
more reasons.
Sense
We
and
like
come
going
home
to
with like 5 new baking pans because we
Yeah.
need them.
Oh, we might use this someday. Who knows?
Exactly, exactly. So I'm going to trouble you for one more baking scrap, but a bit more related to, as we were talking, season 9 bakers have probably just all recently been
Yeah.
informed that they're, and by the time we air, they're probably getting ready to get into the tent if they're already not there already. But do you have any wise words of advice for any of the new bakers for season 9?
Yes. The time will get the best of you. It really will. In the beginning, you don't have to be the best. You just have to not be the worst. Basically, it sounds
Yeah.
awful. It sounds awful, but it's true. If your goal is to be able to like stay and develop, you know, friendships and maximize your time there and get to bake all the things that like you imagine yourself baking there, then your focus should not be on like doing a perfect job for like that first, you know, the first couple of weeks. It should be to really get your timing down, overestimate how much time it's going to take you to do things. And, you know, for me, I thought, oh, that first cake, I was like, yeah, no problem. I practiced this 3 times and I got it down in exactly the amount of time. Well, guess what? When I was in that tent, I ran out of freaking time because I had no control over the fact that it was 36 degrees Celsius, that there's 10 people's ovens on, that there's only 2 fridges and we're all going in and out of those fridges and the fridges are beeping and they're like 20 degrees in the fridges. So things are not cooling or setting or going the way that you planned in general. So that time that you thought you had, no. My best piece of advice is overestimate, you know, how much time you're going to need to do something. And unless you're doing at least 3 things at once, you're not moving fast enough. Focus on getting it done, not on getting it perfect.
Yeah,
because
right.
my mistake was I was, especially in the technicals, I was so fixated on getting each step done correctly that at the end I didn't have enough time to actually put all of those beautifully correctly done things together
Yeah.
in a way that they wanted to see it, right?
Right.
So I ran out of time. I was always just running out of time. And yeah, that's my best piece of advice is just try not to focus so much on perfection and just get it done.
Good
Yeah.
advice.
No,
Yeah.
really, really great advice for the new crop of bakers. And yeah, so much fun. Well, they're in for the ride of their lives.
And
And
have fun and have fun.
Have fun.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Because it'll be over before you know it.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it go by? Did it seem like that? Like, did
Yeah.
it seem like it just like whizzed right by?
Yeah. Like in the moment, I think so many of us were so stressed
Mhm.
that, you know, it's easy to forget to have fun. It's easy to
Yeah.
forget why you're there in the first place.
Yeah.
It's not like we're there competing for $50,000.
Right.
Like it's
Right.
not like we're there for some like life altering, like, you know, prize at the end. It's really
It's a
why
cake
we're there.
plate.
Yeah. Like why we're there is really for the love of it and for, you know, the connections that you build and you know the sense of accomplishment that you walk away from your experience, you know, like regardless if you're the first or the last one to go home, like you walk away with this incredible sense of accomplishment of just the fact that you even got to be there.
Yeah.
And so not forgetting, not losing sight of like the bigger picture of why you're there in the first place is also very important.
Definitely. Definitely.
Wise words from somebody who is, you know, who's had the experience, who's walked in those shoes and has come out on the other side so wonderfully. And thank you for inspiring us today and chatting with us again. And I hope we'll have you back again.
Yeah.
Sometime, maybe with your bestie, Patty.
Yeah, anytime. Maybe we could do like a guest, you know, like, you know, if your baker boys are unavailable someday or we could hear
Yes. Recaps with Patty and Pamela.
Yeah.
Yes. Double
P
P.
squared.
I love it.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
Such a
Oh,
pleasure.
oh,
It's been
oh, it was
wonderful
so
chatting with
wonderful.
you. I'm
Yeah.
glad we got to have a little bit more one-on-one time with you and
Me
looking forward
too.
to doing it again.
Me
And
too.
I'll,
Welcome here anytime.
what's
Well,
good?
you guys should make a trip out west too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Girls road trip out west.
Yeah,
Ah,
And then we could have a cool slumber party.
yeah,
that'd be
yeah.
so much
Put on
fun. We
nice.
could bake together.
We could bake
Put on the
together
stretchy pants.
Put
with
on
all
the
the
stretchy
stretchy
pants, play
pants.
some games. Yeah, chat.
Totally.
Yeah, I just make sure that Patty doesn't bring anything in an unmarked brown paper bag.
There's no guarantees when it comes to patio. The best thing you can do is
She'll,
just not give her ideas. Okay.
she'll come
Yes,
prepared. Like we need to give her ideas. I'm thinking she probably,
she'll find them. She'll
I
find
think she does fine on her own.
Oh, she
them.
does.
Thanks again.
Uh,
And you have inspired us and so many other people. We really appreciate you.
yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Mwah.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Was it just as much fun as you remembered?
Absolutely. Even more so. Even more so. I mean, I have all the time of the day
For
for
Pamela.
Pamela. She's so sweet. I mean,
I'm really liking that she has been just so focused on improving herself,
mhm.
and just like, you know what? I'm going to take good care of my health. I'm going to take care of my body. I'm going to move forward in a positive direction. And just everything that's happening for her sounds so positive. So very excited about
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, I cannot be more happy for her, to be honest. She's again, she deserves all the happiness
And she
in the
looks
world.
happy, right?
She does. She's
Yeah,
glowing. She's
she's
glowing.
glowing.
She's blooming.
She's blooming. Very good. She is. So you can find Pamela on Instagram at bloom, I think it's bloom.and.batter.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And she has some beautiful and amazing creations, not just that fabulous chocolate cake that Kyla said was the best cake she's ever tasted. I have to concur. I didn't get it straight from Pamela, but having made it myself, it was pretty darn good. And like you said, it's always in your rotation now.
It, it really, really is. I've got an event coming up next week that I've got to do some baking for, and I think I'm going to go with that one. It's such a crowd favorite. It's such a uh, beautiful cake. All of the textures with it
Yes.
are just
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah,
Well
yeah.
done, Pamela. You've
It is
inspired
brilliant.
us.
Mhm. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your
Yes.
brilliant recipe with us too, because it is delicious and
I mean, coffee
amazing.
and chocolate, you can't go wrong as far
You
as
cannot go wrong. A little dulce de leche in there for some good measure. It's
yeah, it's really good. Yeah, so I suggest that everybody seek out that recipe if she's posted it, which I think she did. She posted the recipe somewhere.
I think she may
If she
have.
didn't, she's going to have to now. Anyway, maybe ask her for it. No,
Yeah.
oh, don't ask her for it. I don't want to
Is
send a whole bunch of messages directly
yeah.
to Pamela's inbox, but
We're sorry for spamming your inbox.
yeah, it really is. It's worth it.
It is definitely worth it.
Yeah. So sorry for that, Pamela, but thank you for that, Pamela. And everybody, we hope that you have a really great rest of your week. Thank you for joining us for Baking Scraps and happy
Happy
baking.
baking, everyone.